Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the new starter boxes and paint sets for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Games Workshop have been releasing some amazing sets recently, and today we found out there's going to be 3 new starter boxes and some paint sets for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So in this video we'll have a close look at those new sets, and then we'll go through some ideas about how much those sets are going to cost. Okay, let's get started with the video they released showing those new sets. This is the first glimpse we got of them. So there's 3 new starter sets, and here they are: the Warrior, Harbinger and Extremist sets. And so this is going to be the smallest one, and then you're going to get all the same miniatures that are featured in the Dominion box set. You're not going to get as many, but the miniatures are going to be exactly the same. There's nice push fit, easy to build ones. And so now let's have a look at the Harbinger box. So this one goes up in scale. You get a few more minis in this, and brilliant way to get started in Warcry. If you want to have 2 Warcry warbands, these starter sets are perfect, especially with Stormcast. They're so high in points, you could easily build one. But here's the biggest one, the Extremist set. Now this is going to give you not just minis, but also some terrain as well. And they also include a foldable cardboard as well, so proper playing board. So this is a really great set. So you've got 3 options to get started with: the real basic one to try it out, the mid-range, and then if you really want some terrain to get going with, then the Extremist set as well. So how cool is this? 3 new starter sets to get going with in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and it's all going to start with this first one, which is the Warrior starter set. And they say that this is perfect for people playing Warhammer of Sigmar for the first time, and it's been designed for people who want to learn the basics of the game without worrying about the advanced rules. And the box is going to give you everything you need to get going, with 18 miniatures in total, and that includes the Knight Arcanum and 5 Vindictors for the Stormcast Eternals. And then you're also going to get some from the Cruel Boys. You're going to get the Killer Boss with Stabgrot Assistant and 10 of the Gut Rippers. So this is a really good set here, and we'll have a look at the price in a second. But for the contents of what you get, I think this is a great way to get started with Age of Sigmar. But if you like to play Warcry like me, then this is a perfect way to get 2 warbands for Warcry. And I think with the Stormcast being so high in points, with what you get in there, you get a really good leader if you like the magic kind of mystical figures as your leader, and you also get those troops as well. So those Vindictors, that's going to be enough for 1,000 points, and I think you could even do it with the Cruel Boys as well. So good option there, potentially for 2 decent warbands for Warcry. But price wise, I've compared it to the Warhammer 40,000 Recruit Edition, and so this is its kind of counterpart for the 40k world. And you know, the Dominion box set was priced the same as Indomitus, so I don't see why they wouldn't continue this pricing across here. So I think we could use this until we find out the date and the actual prices. I think we could certainly imagine it's going to be around £32.50. So £32.50 for 18 miniatures. What a great way to get 2 warbands for Warcry, but also for Age of Sigmar. You're going to get the core rules there. Not going to be the big book that we saw in Dominion, or the big book you can get separately. It's certainly going to give you everything to get started, and then you're also going to get that Warrior Edition, which will teach you how to play as well. And then you get the thin card, fold out little mat to play on, and your War Scrolls as well. And then you're also going to get all the dice and the little range rulers to get going with too. So I think if you're new to Age of Sigmar, this is a great way to get started. But if you want some sneaky warbands for Warcry, what a great way to do it, and at a good price too. And the next starter set, so we're stepping up now, is the Harbinger starter set. And so you can see you get a little bit more here. We get that big piece of terrain in the middle, which is actually the insert from the box. So that gives you a little raised platform to play with. I don't think that's a big selling feature though, but you do get a little bit more, both in the amount of warriors and fighters you get. So with this Harbinger set, you're going to get 32 push fit plastic miniatures, and it's exactly the same as the miniatures we saw in Dominion, so really easy to put together. You're going to get a total of 10 Stormcast Eternals, which includes those 5 Vindictors. You're also going to get 3 Praetors, and you're going to get the Lord Imperator with the Gryph-hound, and then he's going to be fighting against the Cruel Boys, who are going to be fielding 10 Gut Rippers, 10 of those Hobgrot Slitters, and now you're going to get the Swamp Caller Shaman as well. So you're going to get him and the Potgrot that accompanies him. So this is really great, because you get some really nice miniatures here. Again, perfect for Warcry. You get some really good leaders for your Warcry warbands and plenty of miniatures, enough I think to go up to campaign level with 1400 points. But as well as that, in the box you're going to get the dice, the range rulers, again that kind of cheap mat, like just folding out mat, the manuals, the war scrolls and your rule references. And so this is really great, nice way to get going. Price wise, we're probably looking at about £65. So for 32 miniatures, you know, even the miniatures alone at around £2 each, if you didn't include any of the other things, is a great option. Perfect for Warcry. And if you want to split it with a friend, I think this would be a really good way to get a decent number of miniatures from these new ranges. So if one of you wants to play Stormcaster 1 Cruel Boys, perfect, £32.50 and you're ready to go. But don't forget, all these prices, you're going to save up to 20% on them all. And I'll put a link in the description below to Element Games and Wayland Games, where you can make some savings there when they do come out. And not just for this, for any of your Warhammer, other games, and your paints and everything too. So check out those links in the description below if you're interested in saving some money. And you also support the channel as their affiliate links as well. So thanks so much for that. That's really cool. Right, now we're on to the third starter set, and this is the biggest and baddest of them all, and this is the Extremist set. And with this, you're going to get the same amount of miniatures that we saw in the previous Harbinger box, but you get loads of extra things. So with this, you get an upgrade from that like cheap card gaming mat to a double-sided gaming board, and I guess this is going to be 30 by 22 inches in size. And so, again, good if you want to use it for Warcry as well as Age of Sigmar. You're going to get extra scenery, so you're going to get 5 pieces altogether, and this is going to be 1 Nexus Siphon, 1 Guardian Idol, 2 Domicile Shells, and a pile of pillars that you see almost in the middle there. So some really nice terrain, and we saw this previewed recently. That Nexus Siphon is a great piece. I really like that. And so this could be a really good way to get a nice amount of miniatures and some cool terrain. For Warcry, I'm not sure how this terrain would play. Certainly for you know, you want to get the height, certainly for warbands like Corvus Cabal, where you want to jump up and then down again and really use the terrain to your advantage. I think this might be a little bit lacking, and there's not an awful lot of terrain here either. So if you were getting this for Warcry, I think you'd need more terrain, and you'd certainly need more options to make use of the height of it, because terrain plays such a huge part in that game. But for Age of Sigmar, I think this is a really nice way to get some nice miniatures, a good selection. You get a nice set of terrain and enough to get started. But if you want to start playing it properly, you're going to need more miniatures, you're going to need more boards, you're going to need more terrain, and you want to scale it up a bit. But to get going, a really good option. You can always get 2, split it with a friend, and take 1 army each. So that's one way you could go with it. And if we compare this with the Warhammer 40,000 Command Edition, that's coming in at £105. So you're paying a little bit more there to get that terrain, to get that hard board. And so it's just weighing up whether that's something you're interested in. But that mid-range Harbinger box is going to give you the same number of miniatures. So it really depends on how important the terrain and board are to you. But again, you're going to save 20% on this. So don't forget about those links in the description below. That might make it a little bit more appealing. As well as these game sets, you also got some paints and tool sets that are available specifically for these Age of Sigmar miniatures. And so again, if we compare it in price, this is probably looking to be about £27.50 here for just the paints and tools. But for me, these clippers aren't good quality at all. I got a little paint set a while back, and the clippers are just terrible in there. I don't even use them for anything good now. Certainly not for clipping cool miniatures off the frame. I just don't think it's worth the money. So for me, that first set, I would just say get the paint separately and not worry about it. But you've also got these other 2, which include a few miniatures. So with this one, for the Stormcast, you're probably going to be looking at about £22.50. You're going to get 6 paints, a brush, and 2 miniatures. And again, the brushes included here aren't their best ones, so don't expect any high quality brushes in these sets. But you do get 2 little miniatures there and 6 pots of paint. So it might be a little option just to give it a go and see if you enjoy painting them. And then for the Cruel Boys, you'll get a version for that too. 6 paints, a brush, and 3 miniatures. Again, it's got to be around £22.50. So maybe a nice way to have a go at painting these and see what you think about them. So there we go, that's all the sets and paint sets that we saw released today, and so now we're just waiting on a release date and a confirmation on those prices. But I'd love to know what you think about these and your first impression, so join in the comments section below. It'd be awesome to hear what you think. If you're interested in these models and want to find out a bit more about them, then check out the Dominion unboxing video I did, where I went through all the content of the Dominion box set, covering all the models included there. And I've got to say, I'm really pleased with this set. The book that's included is just incredible. It's one of the best books that I've seen for Warhammer, packed with lore and great information, maps and everything you need to get going. But the models are just brilliant, and you get so many of them too. I've also put out some videos in a series called Fighters in Focus, where I could pick out one fighter and I go through their war scroll for Age of Sigmar and also their Warcry fighter cards to show you how they would play in both games. And this might be a good idea for you to find out which leaders you prefer for either Age of Sigmar or Warcry, and then you could choose which of those starter sets to pick up based on that. So they're all up on the channel too if you'd like to check those out, and I could recommend having a look, and then yeah, give you a good idea of how you'd like to play your games and which set to get. I didn't expect to see these today, so a great release there, and some more awesome sets available coming soon. I can't wait to find out more, and I'll update you here on the channel when I do know more. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. If you like this kind of content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description, and it'll be great to see you there.